There's several ways of making a basket. One of the simpler ways is weaving, where you take one strand and you go over, under, and then you reverse it, go back the other way, or bring a new strand up in reverse order. So when I was a kid, I used to put popsicle sticks together, different things, using a basic weaving techniques, just over, under. Trouble with over, under with loose material is that they can slide around. There's nothing that holds them in place. But if I kept doing this, on a circular basket, you also have to end up with an uneven number so that they will, on the next round, they will go the other side. So that's basic weaving. You can do that with fabric, textiles, different baskets you can fill in. That's a simple thing, one strand, over, under. And you can go over two, under two, different patterns. Now, because it's not terribly tight, it requires being packed in tight to fill up the space. Most California Indians and lots of other people used other methods. The method commonly used around here is called twining. And in twining, I take two or more strands, in this case one wrapped around. And now if it came over, it goes under, and the two interlock. Now the next one crosses over the top, locking the first strand, and it's tight. And if I have material that's been prepared properly and doesn't shrink, I can make this extremely tight. I can actually compress the rib pieces with the weavers, and this will hold, and it won't slide readily up and down. So this is simple twining. I can also do twos, two at a time, over two, under two, making the next row stagger so it looks like bricks laid in. And there's a number of patterns that I can develop in twining. This is just simple single twined work here. Good for water bottles and even watertight baskets, as well as doing open work stuff, in baskets and so on. So that's simple twining. Now, coiling, the other method commonly used in California, I would take one or three strands of carefully prepared, peeled down willow, so the big end's the same size as the small ends. So it's called three-rod basketry. I'm just going to kind of explain it here a little bit with this crude material. Okay, you'd start one end in, and then you're basically wrapping around. Now, you need a second layer below, and you'd have a layer below of three pieces. Let me grab two more. So the row below this, that was three, I'll grab the top one of those going around, and I'll just keep stitching this around, and the row on the bottom will also have been stitched around. Going in and out of camera. Let me see how I can show this. So this one is going around. It will go through the row below, and I need an awl to poke a hole there. It'll go under one, stitching the three down to the other three below it. I'll have to loosen this up. I don't know if we'll be able to see this on camera. So I'm stitching 3 to 3 by going around the top one of the 3 below and all 3 above. And I'll just keep going. I can either split through the stitch below or I can go between the stitch below so that they're attached to each other. And this can be done extremely tightly so that again it'll hold water. You can see this very crude representation of a coiled basket. So the coils in this normally would be in a spiral, so it would be the same coils that you're going in on top of, just around and around, making it bigger and bigger, like the old rag rugs. So that's coiled work. You can also make flat trays and mats by doing interwoven stuff with flat pieces where they crisscross each other. There's no ribs and weavers, it's all equal. Pieces can turn the corner of the edge and come back through. That's called plating, another form of basketry. You can also take the rib pieces and simply tie them together so that we might take a bunch of sticks and to make the shape, lay another stick over the top of that, and with string we can lash the basket together, just lash a piece over several that way. You can also do a coil using strings, lashing the coils together, coming out from the center. So there's a few California baskets done that way as well. So there's some of these little sort of oddball techniques which I lump together as kind of lashing, plus coiling, twining, weaving, and plating are the major types of baskets that you'll run into. So that's what you're going to be using.